And let us indeed have this conversation with Hlulani Mashaba, Brigadier Hlulani Mashaba from the South African Police Service. He's the Limpopo spokesperson in that province. Mike Maringa is the Limpopo Department of Education spokesperson, and Risuna Nkuna is the communications manager for the South African Council of Educators, where a 51-year-old school principal from Limpopo has been arrested for allegedly sexually assaulting a 17-year-old pupil at his school in Leboa. Brigadier Mashaba, let me start with you. Good afternoon. Thanks for your time.
Good afternoon, Tshego, and the rest of our FM listeners.
So can you give us a bit more details? What do you know about this particular incident as the police right now?
Look, we have been alerted to this incident on Saturday where a teacher, a 51-year-old principal, sexually assaulted a 17-year-old learner from one of the schools in Limpopo. It is alleged that initially a cell phone was confiscated from her in a classroom by one of a female teacher, and then upon that cell phone having been confiscated, there were attempts by the learner to get her cell phone back, but because the principal was always not at school, she couldn't get it. Then on Saturday, she managed to get through to the principal's office, and when she entered the principal's office, the principal started making inappropriate action towards her, thereby sexually assaulting her. And then the matter was reported to our police in Limpopo, who then sent through the very same information to our sexual unit, the Family Violence and Child Protection Offences Unit, to look at the matter. And then subsequently, upon their investigation, they found that the principal was found to be on the wrong side of the law. Then they apprehended him immediately yesterday, and as we see, he's about to appear before Hlulani Magistrate Court, facing charges relating to sexual assault.
So he's appearing in court today?
Definitely, he is appearing today in court as we speak. I haven't got the details as to how the court proceedings actually transpired, but I would like to believe that anyway, whatever happens, I don't think he will be even being given bail, because obviously there will be issues for further profiling and formal bail application.
Let me bring in Mike Maringa here, the Limpopo Education Department spokesperson. Mike, good afternoon. Thanks for your time.
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to the listeners.
I mean, when you hear about this incident and how Brigadier Mashaba has now explained it to us, what is your immediate response then as a department on these kind of allegations about a principal, a person that is heading a school?
Yeah, no, it's a grave concern to us as a department. The principals or educators are supposed to be the father figures, parents figures to the learners. So it is disturbing when you get news that a principal of a school is involved in a sexual assault case. He is the senior manager at the school level. You expect him to lead by an example. But shockingly, we got this statement yesterday from SAPS that they've arrested one of our own, and these are the allegations, and he will be appearing in court today.
And so, in situations like this, what transpires from your end? And I'll ask Risuna the same thing, Mike, because my question is, what then do you do? He's arrested, but is there any action that you can take as a department right now with him being in police custody?
Yeah, look, we take matters of sexual assault very serious. It's a month that is looking into all matters relating to women. GBV matters are also of grave concern to us. So what the MEC has done, shortly after receiving the statement, she gave a directive that investigations must start immediately, so that we can decide on the way forward. But usually if we've got cases like this that have happened at the school premises, we see to it that we defend the right of learners, we protect them, we give them all the necessary support, the counseling that they should get. Then if ever the allegations are carrying water, we immediately suspend the suspect pending investigation so that we can ultimately take a final decision on the matter.
Risuna, we are seeing more and more cases, good afternoon to you, where we are seeing more cases of teachers, principals being, being implicated in such situations, sexual assault, sexual harassment of learners. What is the process from SACE's, perspective when a teacher is accused of such allegations?
So, good afternoon, Tshego, and the colleagues from SAPS and the colleagues from the department. SACE takes notes of these serious allegations leveled against the principal. Let me indicate to you that the council will be initiating an investigation to the matter. Obviously, this will then require us to work very closely with the community and involving also the school governing body as part of our investigation. Thereafter, this will be followed by an investigation report, which will be then presented before our ethics committee. So our ethics committee is responsible for ratifying all the investigation reports, and based on the evidence which we would have collected, we will then initiate our independent disciplinary processes and procedures in line with our sanctioning policies. We definitely condemn such actions, and we expect all our leaders, our principals, and also our teachers to uphold the values of the profession. They are parents to our kids, and we will never stop sending out that message to say that they are parents. So we will really work very closely with the authorities, and appropriation action will be then taken thereafter.
So, Brigadier Mashaba, you say that, of course, this principal is in, he went to court today. How will your unit, that family violence, child protection and sexual offences unit that you spoke about, ensure that this case is handled with the sensitivity that it needs, because you are dealing with a 17-year-old, a minor?
Yeah, we have had these cases before. There will be one that you will remember where a minor also was actually raped by a teacher here in Capricorn district in the province. Our meticulous investigation unearthed all the circumstances, and they had evidence to that effect that indeed there was rape. As we speak now, that man has been sentenced, is currently in custody. So we've got numerous, incidents where our detectives have proven beyond reasonable doubt with evidential material to ensure that we've got a strong case against these perpetrators. I believe that this one will be no exception. We've got one of the very, very dedicated SACE teams in the province. I'm sure you will know. Even now, when we are observing the Women's Month progress, I'm sure you will see part of the work that we do. We profile the good work that is being done by our SACE investigators. This one, I can tell you now, we will pursue it, and we'll make sure that the evidence. Let me tell you something, because before we arrest, we investigate. We don't just arrest, we investigate. We investigate and arrest. The fact that our police went on to arrest this suspect, it means they've got tangible evidence, and it will be able to withstand, the test of time even in court. So we were optimistic about that.
Mike, what support then does the department, or what support can you offer as a department to this young child and to her family?
Yeah, from the district office, we have already called for social workers to attend to the learner. We'll be having psychosocial sessions with the learner just to ensure that she gets the support that she deserves. That will also go with the investigations that are underway. So as soon as we get all the facts around the matter. We'll identify the learner and have all the processes, because remember, as the department, we only got to know about this information very late last night when SAPS informed us about the arrest. But this morning the directive was given. We are also planning to get all the social services to come to attend.
Is it something, Mike, that you are hearing a lot of as a department when it comes to sexual assault within your schools?
Yeah, sexual assaults are very common. I'll just give you an example. I think it was 4, if not 5 months ago, we had a similar incident where one of our educators in the Waterberg area was arrested for a similar offense. For this time, it was for a rape of a learner, which happened at the school premises, and the teacher was immediately arrested. We suspended him, and he is no longer in the employ of the department. So as and when these cases are reported to us, we do attend to them. We act very swiftly. So it's not new, but with the assistance of SACE, of course, we get to remove them out of the role so that they never get close to our learners again.
And speaking then about SACE, Risuna, as this process unfolds, especially when this principal gets out of custody, the police custody that is, what then do you think would be the process moving forward? Will he stay on as a teacher or on your roles at least?
Let me indicate that subject to the processes of the employer, the employer, it is within their jurisdiction to determine whether the teacher will remain in the system temporarily, will be suspended. So due processes will follow from the department, from the employment perspective. Now, in terms of SACE, obviously SACE will then institute their processes, like I indicated, and then at a later stage, the disciplinary processes will unfold, and then thereafter we will then impose the necessary sanctions. Of course, we really reprimand the allegations, and I think it will be subjected to investigations, and then the necessary steps shall follow. In terms of also, Tshego, to add, what is it that we are doing as council? We will be visiting the school, but let me emphasize that countrywide we continue to capacitate our educators on the code of professional ethics so that they are able to familiarize themselves in terms of what is it that they are expected to do in terms of their conduct. So we will be visiting the school, we will be engaging the department colleagues so that we can embark on a workshop to capacitate our principals and also our educators in that regard.
Mike, are you finding that these kind of workshops by SACE are actually helpful?
Yes, they are indeed helpful. They are playing a very key role in making sure that these kind of cases are minimized, because without them, we are unable to do much. So as the council, we work very closely with them. We know of cases where educators who were found in the wrong have been taken off the roll with our permission, of course. So we are working very close, and we see to it that those that were suspended or removed for sexual offenses, they no longer get closer to our learners, because what we have witnessed in the past is that these kind of people get to repeat these offenses. So it's better to take them off the roll before you hear of another sexual assault case.
I want to wrap it up quickly, but I want to take a quick call from Thabo in Tabazimbi. Hi, Thabo. Good afternoon. Your take on this conversation?
Good afternoon, ma'am. Actually, this conversation it's quite heartbreaking, and especially as a parent, thinking that we have daughters, we have children that we are raising ourselves, and it might happen to them tomorrow. And as we are sitting, I have something very sensitive that I want to share, but I don't know how I can speak about it so that it doesn't expose who I'm talking about or the situation itself. Apparently, there's a child I know, and this child is at school. I think she's in grade 10. And then the child was raped. And apparently the perpetrator was the father, or is the father.
Okay.
And he's been hiding this thing from the mother, claiming that the child was raped. So the mother is a nurse. And when she combined her things and how he calculates the time the rape happened and when the child gave birth, the time did not make sense to her. And then she started having a doubt and how the father started protecting the child, doesn't want anybody to know close to the child. That child gave birth, I think, last year.
Sure.
And until the child had confessed to the mother that it's the father who did this, and the case is still under investigation. But the problem is, like I'm hearing your guests who are speaking now, I understand that the law is if the victim has confessed, because the child wrote a letter, even recorded this message to the mother's phone. But the father is still not arrested until today. And they opened the case against him, but he's still not under arrest. So I wanted to ask, how does the law work in terms of this thing of cops taking too long to arrest even after there was a confession and a case that has opened? Because I understand if someone has opened the case, you will get arrested and you will explain in front of the court if you are guilty or not guilty.
All right, let's go to news headlines. I hope you got that, Brigadier, specifically. I think this is for you. And then we'll come back and just weigh in on what Thabo has had to ask there. We're in conversation with Brigadier Hlulani Mashaba, Limpopo Police Spokesperson, Mike Maringa, Limpopo Education Department Spokesperson, and Risuna Nkuna, who is the Communications Manager for the South African Council of Educators, unpacking this very disturbing story of a 51-year-old school principal who's been arrested, appearing in court today after allegedly assaulting a 17-year-old learner. Nyaka for standing by with news headlines, and we'll continue this conversation with the gentleman.
Get in touch with Tshego on X at Tshego Moagi _.
It's 12:34 on Power 98.7. Brigadier Hlulani Mashaba, I'm not sure if you are able to hear that particular question. You know, Thabo already just asking, why does it take so long sometimes to arrest the alleged perpetrators?
Yeah, thank you so much, Tshego. I heard the caller. I think if I heard him correctly, he said he's from Thabazimbi, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the Thabazimbi, because Thabazimbi is based in Waterberg district. Fortunately, where I am now, we are in a memorial service for one of our officers who passed away along the R101 road, who was driving in May to attend court appearance in Nabom State. So what I'm going to do, I will ask that immediately after this conversation, you link me with him so that I can get all the information, including the case, so that I expedite it. I will speak to the Major General personally, because I'm with her at this very memorial service, so that we can look at how we can speed up the process and that we can get our teams to look at the matter. It shall be attended to very, very quickly.
Right, that sounds great. Thank you so much for that. So let's just wrap up our conversation then, gentlemen. Mike, let me ask you, and wrapping up our discussion, the issue, of course, of learners being scared to speak out. What are some of the things that are done by the department, measures put in place by the department to ensure that learners feel comfortable enough to speak to an adult, even if it's an adult at the school premises?
No, we've got various programs. Some of them we are doing with SAPS, some of them with our social services, our lawyers within. We encourage learners to speak out, especially on issues relating to GBV, anything that is a concern to them, bullying and etc. So I think what we are seeing today, a learner who was allegedly raped on a Saturday, who had that incident on a Saturday, came to report the matter on Wednesday. This says a lot to say that they now do have a courage. We have encouraged them to come out to say, if you encounter such challenges, please speak out. Don't bottle it. We need to know about it. It's for their own good. They've got the right to do so. So we do have sessions also in our curriculum setup, your life orientation subjects. That's where teachers get to interact with learners, where they encourage them to speak out, to talk about any other thing that may be bothering them. So it is yielding results. We see them coming out more often, be it GBV or bullying in the school premises.
All right. And Risuna, then just a word for your members, really, the teachers, in this regard, regarding, their behavior.
Yes. Let me emphasize and remind our teachers that all the authorities are not in any business of trying to convict any teacher or any principal. It's them who has got the responsibility of making sure that they take responsibility for their actions. We really we are hard at work trying to capacitate and remind them of the code of professional ethics. But again, reminding them to respect the ethos and the values of the teaching profession. So we will continue to workshop them, we'll continue to remind them, because really this is uncalled for, and it is really bringing the profession into disrepute in that regard.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you so much, gentlemen, indeed, for your time this morning. Akansa Swinen.
Thank you, Iko.
Thank you. Brigadier Hlulani Mashaba, Limpopo Police Spokesperson. Mike Maringa is the Limpopo Education Spokesperson, and Risuna Nkuna is the Communications Manager for the South African Council of Educators. So there's been a message that has come through that there was a disturbing incident that occurred at Nkwenkwezi High School in Ellis in the Eastern Cape. It's trending on Facebook. Apparently a grade 9 learner stabbed another grade 9 learner and threw him in a pit latrine. Fortunately, he was discovered alive almost 24 hours later. The matter was reported to the police and the perpetrator was apprehended, grade 9, and released on warning the same day. The situation could be volatile as other students are calling for blood of the perpetrator. We'll get a comment indeed from the Eastern Cape Education Department and the SAPS. Disturbing things that are happening with our children these days.